Hello, everybody. Hi, this is Greg. I just want to talk to you about a couple things right now. I just want to say hi, Happy New Year. One of the things I wanted to say was this is a brand new year for me and a new year for you as well. And I know pretty much, as you're watching this, you're probably saying to yourself, well, Greg, what are you going to talk about tonight? So I decided I was going to talk about a couple of things here. So first and foremost, I want to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's 2020. It's like, the Barbara Walters special. You got like the 2020, you know, hello, this is Barbara Walters and it's 2020. Hi, this is Greg Valentine. This is 2020. So this is the 21st day after the new year, pretty much. Let me get this camera just right. See all the edges of my world here. Anyway, so what happens is this. I'm gonna bring it closer. Perfect. All right, perfect. So now I'm in a green world, in the green screen. Okay, so I want to talk to you about today's January 21st, 2020. And one of the things I wanted to say, thank you so much for watching all of my subscribers and supporters and people who have been with me in 2019 and 2018 and before that. I'm glad that I'm able to actually be here and be able to just, share with you different things that I'm doing. The gist of our channel, I just want to say, I was really concerned about the whole COPPA thing, and I was really nervous about that. And so for that, I kind of hesitated making some more videos. But I said, let me go ahead and just, keep going and see what happens. And so far, it's been good. I haven't had any trouble or any problem from it, so that's good. Because even though I'm a friendly person and I talk a lot of stuff, not all the stuff I talk about is like geared for children. So it's like one of the things is like my channel is not really geared for kids, but that's one of those things I just wanted to kind of just put out there. I have more videos and stuff coming down the line, and I have dinosaur candidate stuff that I'm working on, and pretty much I just want to give a couple of shout outs to things, shout outs to different makers and different content creators on YouTube. And so I wanted to shout out to a couple of new ones. First and foremost, I want to thank Marcos Makes. He does he does dinosaur modeling. He makes dinosaurs, and he makes like really accurate looking dinosaurs from Jurassic Park World Series, as well as other things. He makes some really cool. But the ones that really got my heart were the dinosaurs. He made like the Allosaurus and the Mosasaur, and he made T Rex and Brachiosaur, and he made all these different dinosaurs that I really thought was awesome. So one way he uses it is that he uses masking tape, masking tape, which I really think is awesome, and he uses that to to form the armature and the understructure of the sculpture he's about to do. Then he uses epoxy paint, epoxy clay, on top of that. So I wanted to do that too, but I don't like the whole epoxy thing, and also I don't want to use like what do you call that kind of clay? The really severe yeah, the regular terracotta clay. I don't want to use that because what happens is you have to have a kiln, and I don't have a kiln because I don't have that much space where I live. But for the most part, though, I have the ability to get to masking tape, not duct tape, it's masking tape. And the masking tape I think is really cool because you have it where you can do everything. You can take this and you can make a whole bunch of stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've made in the last couple of days. I just wanted to, but I'll do that later. First, I want to give my shout outs, and then I'll show you some things that I've made with the duct tape, with the masking tape, and how that's worked out really well for me. Next thing I want to do, I want to give a shout out to my friend Sasha Cullen. She goes by the name Orphan Red. But also, she also goes now. Her channel is now called Mensa, so she's been doing a lot of conversation and talking about like things regarding the flat Earth as well as things regarding things that are important to her and gathers her attention. So I want to give a shout out to her. And so the most recent, what happened was a situation happened where she made a video and it was a really cool video, and someone else took it and they took out all her attributes that made her who she was from the video. And so anyway, long story short, without giving much details, I just want to say that that was a really interesting thing to have to listen to because I similarly went through something like that as well. Or you make something and then somebody disregards it, or they take away your credit from it. And so I learned a lot of lessons about that. So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to just that really cool. I thought it was upset what she went through, but I'm glad she was able to resolve it. She was able to resolve the situation there and get the justice that was due to her. So I like that. I thought it was really good. The next person I want to give a shout out to is the Bible Project. There's a thing called the Bible Project, and my wife introduced me to it because what happened was that we were listening to this thing about generosity last year and talked about we were going through some things in regard to my family, and one of the things was that regarding one of the messages they talked was about generosity, and that was the one that got me into it because I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian since I was 7 years old, and I'm not just a Christian. I'm a born again Christian. I believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for my sins, and that He rose again the third day. I believe that He was born of a virgin, of Mary. Born But yeah, so she never knew a man, and she produced Jesus through the power of the Holy Spirit. And then also I believe that he died, he was buried, he rose again, and he died for my sins. For things that I've done wrong and things I've yet to do wrong, and not just my sins only, but the sins of the whole world. And he's like a parachute, and that the parachute to help us flee from the wrath to come. So I believe that. So as a Christian, I try and share that with people, and let people know about the hope that we have in Jesus. That He's able to renew us into life. But so one of the things was that I'm just kind of tearing the edges off my little script here because I have my script of stuff I want to be able to share with you. But one of the things was that one thing I was talking about was how when you have a situation. Hey Amy, how you doing? So what happened? One of the situations is that you have a thing where um, one of the things I want to say was about like how in terms of generosity, you have a thing where generosity and the kingdom of God. It's talked about having like where in our life there's so much scarcity and we are so afraid of losing everything. But when you come to the point where you trust God and God is able to do great things through you, He wants you to take those great things that He's done through you and to share with other people. He wants you to go and make a difference in this world. He wants you to just go ahead and to do stuff that'll show the greatness of God. See, there's when I grew up, I went through a lot of Bible school and Bible colleges, and also went through 2 Bible colleges, and I went through a lot of Bible training, and I went through many different churches. We went through several churches and church groups and church buildings. And what happened was that when we were in there, we learned about the judgment of God and God judgment on sin and how we need to flee from the wrath to come. And also we learned about we learned about the goodness of God, but not as strongly as the Bible Project put it together. This is my chicken patties cooking. Anyway, so what happens is this not as great as we were able to learn about the goodness and mercy of God. For example, we always emphasize the wrath of God and the things that things that he hated for sin. But when it started talking about the generosity of God, talked about the goodness of God, it was amazing because it talked about like how when you can go to the host, God is the host. He gives you such a wonderful a blessing. He gives you so many things, and there's no end to it. Like talk about how you're welcome. Anyway, so what happens is like he says thanks for cooking. I said you're welcome. Anyway, so what happens is like I have a minute here to so I decided let me go ahead and just get this cooking and then I'll get on the other part to cooking. Long story short, I wanted to say that that was very good for me because I hear about the righteousness of God and not only the righteousness of God, the generosity of God, how He gives us so much and that He wants us to share that so much. And even with Jesus, when He died on the cross, He was given of so much. You also have the thing about the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, how he or two loaves and 5 fish. I think it's 2 loaves, 5 fish. Anyway, so what happens is like he did that and he was able to give out the bread. And he blessed so many people with that because he wanted to show that He is the abundance of life. He's the greatness of life. So that's one of the lessons I learned. Was another one I learned from them was the seraphims means serpent. Number 2, seraphim. I always thought seraphim was a 6-winged angel, and a 6-winged angel different from the cherubim, different from the regular angels, because they always talked about there's the angels, there's the seraphim, there's the cherubim. But here he talked about the seraphim means serpent. Who knew? So when they have the serpent was in the garden, it was a seraphim in the garden. Interesting, and that Satan when he fell. He when he fell, he was many times the serpent was is one of the cherubim. The devil, the Satan, it's a cherubim. Next one is the kingdom of God, and about how the kingdom of God, the goodness of that. We talked about that. Next one, righteousness means restoring the dignity and image of God to a person. So, for example, when you have a person who is I was looking at this thing, talked about justice, and what justice really is that it's a matter of being able to see and restore the dignity that belongs to a person. And one of the things that we're supposed to do is we're supposed to help people who are downtrodden, who are beaten, who can't speak for themselves. We're going to go to the March for Life on Friday, and it's going to be in Washington D.C. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's like one of those things where we get to speak for those who have no voice for themselves and speaking for the sake of the unborn. Righteousness means an aspect of nothing talked about like atonement. Righteousness means that you have it where when God is able to take what we have or you take what He has given us and we use that to bless another person, to restore a person back to level. And they had such an awesome video on it. I'm not doing it any justice, but it's such a wonderful video. That what it does is that it shows that everybody, there's some people have have what happens sometimes. What happens when a person gets oppressed? Sometimes in their life, they've been oppressed by another person. They've been oppressed by another person. What ends up happening is that when they get freedom, they oppress the other side. So like for example, many times you have it where, let's say last couple of movies, the whole woke culture thing. You have a thing where you have it where it's like there's instead of them showing how men and women work together, they have a thing now to show how in a sense women are superior to men, and women are just way better, stronger, can, like the whole Mary Sue thing with the whole Star Wars thing. You have that whole thing where she can't be, in a sense proven. I didn't watch the Rise of Skywalker. I had no interest in watching that, but the whole thing about what is watching this the other movies, they have a thing where we are to work together. So instead of so for example, women have been oppressed for all these years, so finally they get the chance to be on equal level ground, and what happens? They try to oppress, So the thing is, like, instead of that, it's like, we're not saying that that's the case in every situation, but like in woke culture, what they're doing now, they're kind of overcompensating. It's kind of one of those things where, when you're driving a car, and all of a sudden, you see like you go this way a little bit, instead of going like just kind of a little bit back that way, you kind of overcompensate to try and that's what accidents happen. So when a person goes whoa, 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 and they crash into the guardrails or something, or they go off the road, it's because they overcompensated. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's like not a matter of becoming an oppressor once you've been freed. It's now a matter of becoming a freedom giver to all. So you don't just bring a person up to your level, and then you push other people down. You bring everybody up. It's kind of like the rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. So that was one of the interesting things I learned about that. Righteousness means like to. Well, that's freaky. That happens every so often. It kind of just shuts off on me, so I got to kind of put it back together again. Anyway, so the thing I wanted to talk about was what I was going to learn was that cherubim are scary. They were in the Bible. They talked about these creatures that had like 4 faces. A face of an eagle, face of a lion, face of an ox, and face of a man. And so these 4-faced things, they are very scary because what they do, they guard the throne room of God. So they're like in the book of Ezekiel, they talk about how they're like the underneath the chariot, underneath the throne of God, and they're 4 faces. They're all like looking at each other or looking out, and their wings behind them touch each other. So they have like very, very scary creatures. So anyway, they have to have that in the Ark of the Covenant. So if you've ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, there's a cherubim on top of the Ark of the Covenant, and then that's very scary because that always shows they never were supposed to make an image of God, but they always made well, not always, but they made images of different creatures, and one of the creatures they made was a cherubim on top of the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant, and that's where the person would pour the atoning blood of the blood of the bulls and the goats to take away sin. It wouldn't take away sin; it just kind of cover sin, and they call that the atonement. Next thing was that Eden touched heaven. The Adam and Eve and Eden. That's what I learned. This is what I learned from the Bible Project, and I've learned a lot more. But this is some of the things I want to just kind of share real quick. And I talked like a good minute about it. That Eden touched heaven. That the Garden of Eden interacted with heaven on a kind of like a high hill, and in the highest hill, they have these decisions. God gave man the ability to choose for himself right or wrong. And he says this way: you do if you eat from this tree, you'll surely die. But if you eat from the tree of life, you'll live forever. And so they chose to live, eat from the tree of life. Next thing was that Jesus is amazing, and I want to get to showing you some of the things here that I've been working on really quickly. And I have more to talk to you about, but I my brain has so much stuff in it, I just can't really share everything I want to. But I'll try. Really quick, I don't want to make this too long a video. So Marcos makes, he uses masking tape, and masking tape has been very good for me. What I've done with the masking tape was I was able to make a couple of creatures. Let's see, what should we start with? I'll start with the most recent thing that I made. The last thing I've made. The last thing I made was this one. I made this one just today, just a few minutes ago, actually. This is a giraffe, but it looks more like a Paraceratherium, except for the horns, of course. Like a Paraceratherium is one of those big creatures with long necks and stuff like that. You see them in like what do you call it? Ice Age show. So you have Paraceratherium, and then you also have, I made a little itty bitty one too. So you have a big one and a little itty bitty one, all out of masking tape, baby. So what I can do at this point, these can actually stand up. And what I can do is I can actually go ahead and start sculpting them, because the sculpting that I actually used air dry clay. And air dry clay, let me get it for you real quick. Air dry clay, thank you, Crayola. Air dry clay. This is a terracotta color. The one I used before when I was making Jaina and Serrato was I used the white one. But this one I said, let me just try and use this one, and it worked out pretty good. Anyway, next thing too, I wanted to show you some things that were completed. Like for example, before that I was working on this project here. This was my son's. My son wanted me to make a little paper thing for him, so I made a little paper thing for him, and then after we painted it, so we put some brown paint. I had to make the brown paint and the orange and all that. So this is like a little person, and yeah, I could stand up. Which is not stand up, of course. And so it's like, yep. So here it's like it standing up there. Anyway, so this is like he wanted me to make that. So he's like, Dad, can you make a little person for me? So I'm like, all right, fine. So I made a little person. All right, and so next thing was this one when I made was off my apron at work. Pretty much I work at a hardware store. I won't say the name, you know. And what happens off my apron, I was able to make this one here. This is like an Apatosaurus, and almost like a Flintstones kind of thing, you know. So it's like I have a little person on my apron. It has this little design. I have it on my Instagram, more details of it. But nevertheless, this like inside of it, the interior is foam, and then and I have it wrapped up with the what do you call this? The masking tape as well. Then I decided to go ahead and paint it, and then after I decoupaged it, which is a Mod Podge, which is type of acrylic, more like a resin kind of thing. And it kind of what it does, it just as you paint it, it just kind of keeps the shape. So this is actually a really cool, a lot of fun to have made, and it's like I brightened it up with some more acrylic paint. So first I used like a water-based paint, then I went ahead with acrylic just to kind of work on it some more, and it's pretty cool. So that's one. This is next one you have is my son wanted me to make a dinosaur for him, so I made one first with I made it out of masking tape, and then after that was this Delta from the Fallen Kingdom. No, Delta from Jurassic World. And so what happens is that this is like if you remember Delta in the movie, he got hit, but no, it was actually Charlie. Delta got killed, but Charlie got shot by a bazooka. So this is one of my dinosaurs. And we put eyes in it and stuff like that as well. So then pretty much one of the things was that he was my son was so happy to have a little eyeball that just kind of wobbles, and so he liked that. That was cool. So I thought it was cool too. Yeah. So and I painted it, and he was just like, I love it. So it's just pretty much this is. Next thing too was I made this is like a complex one. This one's like it's kind of a combination. It's like a Euplocephalus, and then you have an Ankylosaur in there as well as a Sauropelta. So it's kind of a Eurosauropelta Ankylosaurus kind of thing, but it's like it's as you can see, it's one of those things where it's all the spikes, and it's really cool. I made this in the laundromat. I was sitting in the laundromat. My wife and kids were sitting in the laundromat doing the laundry. I made it. Decided let me go and give it a paint. Picture of black and white, obviously, but when you like look at it, it's just weird. It looks almost like it's silver. It's just and it kind of casts a shadow. I don't know. It's just weird how that works out. But anyway, so let me show it to you real quick. Again, this is my Eurocephalus Sauropelta Ankylosaurus. We call it Eunice. All right. Next one. This one I made at the bowling alley. This was my Eudimorphodon. And so what happened was I decided to change the mouth up some because I was gonna put like more teeth and stuff here. So I thought let me give it a bigger mouth and a better mouth, because what happens is that you have these dinosaurs and stuff, or actually it's flying reptiles, because this is not a dinosaur, just a flying reptile. And I made this at a bowling alley, and it was just so much fun to make. It really was, because it was like you start off with like a little piece of masking tape, and then you just go from there, and it's like ha 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 ha. And this is what happens. You kind of do that, and it's really cool. So I just wanted to share that with you. That this is pretty much one of my Eudimorphodon as opposed to a Dimorphodon. A friend of mine gave me a Dimorphodon at my job, but this one I made this one myself. It's the first time ever making a cool little dinosaur thing. That's not really a dinosaur. It's almost like dinosaur train, no? But it's not. Anyway, so that's one. Because in a dinosaur train, they don't have any tails, and they're pterodons, But this one's a Eudimorphodon. That's EU Dimorphodon for all you people out there. Okay, now we get to the bigger creatures. Okay, bigger ones. I made this one here, and this is part of my dinosaur candidate storyline. But it's not really a big creature, but this is actually a really cool, like little figurine here. And this little figurine is one of like my little soldiers, And one of the soldiers, he has like his little backpack on the back, and you have it where it's like he has a gun, and he's he's one of the soldiers that's designed to part of the ground forces, forces soldier, and all their capes and stuff is designed to deal with it's fireproof, waterproof, all that stuff. It's flotation devices, things like that. So their capes and things. They're also like bulletproof. But I mean they're dealing with like rogue dinosaurs and things like that, and monsters and stuff. So they have to have the gear that can handle that kind of thing. They can't just have regular outfits and stuff. They need to have severe outfits dealing with the military stuff. So pretty much here it is that he has his gear, he has his gun, he has a three chamber Gatling, laser rifle. And so what happens is that you have, his face and all that stuff. So it's pretty much cool. I just want to show that to you. Next thing too. Okay, this we start getting into really big stuff. So then that's dinosaur candidates right there. I have another dinosaur candidate something. I think I have it. Oh, I started repainting everybody because the whole repainting things. But I wanted to show you, this is the Leviathan. And the Leviathan one, this one is super huge. This one is huge. Now see, the thing is, when I made this one is huge. It's like it's pretty big. It's all masking tape and stuff like that too. I have to paint his belly. I haven't finished painting his belly yet, but I have to give him also his eyes and that as well. So his eyes and then he's a really big creature. So this one corresponds with my Terminus, This real quick. This here is the Terminus. The Terminus. And the Terminus, I took this to Florida with me when we went to Florida last year. And this is really cool. I put it in the ocean and a lot. I have pictures of that somewhere. I have to post it for you. In the ocean and the pool and the Mosh Posh and everything, like, worked really well. But this here is the creature that it's going to fight against. And I have yet to put the episode together, but I just want you to show this is not completed either, but there's more to it. But it was so much fun putting his teeth together. Because like when you look at his teeth, right? His teeth, I had to kind of make the teeth separate. So teeth is actually cardboard teeth. And it's very, very, very sharp, but very, boxy teeth. And then you have it like, his claws and stuff like that. So when you have it, the progression is you have like the Terminus came from the designs of this one. So this is like the main creature. And this is the creature that comes after that. And so they're going to have a, fight at some point. So I'll let you know about that. Next thing too, last and foremost, what I'm going to end this note on, really, I think I'm going to end it. Well, actually, no, before I show you that one, I'll show you the one before that one. So I can end it. That's my favorite one. So this one here is Arana. And she's a spider lady. She's the story of Arachne in the, how she was, anyway, long story short, it's half spider, half lady kind of a thing. So here's half spider. It's like, yeah, I see you, she says. So what happens is that, you have the spider and the spider lady and spider lady. And she's like, kind of not so big. But she has like a spear that fell down somewhere. I want to go get it. But pretty much what happens is like when she's holding the spear, it looks really cool. And this is another part of another story that I'm working on. But I won't tell you about that. I won't spoil that for you. And finally, this one here. This is the one I have that I want to just kind of share with you. This one here is my Allosaurus. This one, I back a long time ago when I started working with Blender, I made my very own Allosaurus, and it was like my Allosaurus. It's not like a typical Allosaurus. Most Allosauruses have only 3 fingers. Well, mine has 4. So if you look at all my animation stuff and also on my, animation page, the title, it has this Allosaurus here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to give it a nice painting. This is 100%, well, not 100%. The teeth itself too are also cardboard. Cardboard, and I'm going to have to just paint it and then add the eyeballs. Add the treacherous and deadly eyeball. So pretty much that's going to be right where this is here, and then you got my other self, and this is my other self, which is, my daughter Abby. She was like, Daddy, and then so that's what happened. So I gave it a little mustache, and then so a little mustache and eyebrow, and I give it a little paint over his face. Oh goodness, the green paint's coming. Gotta work on his face. Okay, so I gotta give him another paint, do over for him to make sure his face is all good. Because I was like, anyway, so working on him. So they're together. It's like, they're like, you got that one. But then pretty much what I've always had, though, in the meantime, was the orange raptor and me. So why am I doing all this? Well, this is like kind of like, I like whenever I go to places, I like to have, you go take a selfie, like, oh, a selfie. But when you have a little figurine, it's kind of cool. Like a little figurine in place of me. It's like, hey, this is not me, but this is like me, and this is little me. So it's kind of cool. But when you have it, you can do like, you have this other one too. It's from my animation. This is kind of like the accumulation of what you can do with masking tape. Okay, this is like the sum total of masking. Maybe I'll make like Gremlins or something next. Who knows? It's a good idea actually. But anyway, so what happens is that I might just go ahead and make something like this and able to make it come to life. And this is, this is masking tape, people. It's like masking tape legs. It can stand up, okay, on its own. So pretty much it's one of those cool things. So yeah, I've actually given a lot of money to the whole masking tape industry. So you should be grateful. It should make me like a sponsor or something, or just come and sponsor or be a subscription on my channel. Anyway, so I just want to say that thank you so much for listening. One of the things I just want to say real quick too. There's been a lot of lessons I've learned last couple of months too as well, and I can't get into all the details. But one of the things I learned is that you have to deal with people in terms of how they are, and not how you think they should be. because everybody has all manner of issues that they're dealing with. For example, people have baggage and they deal with stuff, and I thank God for my wife and my children. I thank God I was able to spend time with them and to be with them. I've been working like a different shift lately, and that's why I guess my creativity has like tremendously come back because I've been working a different shift, working overnight and stuff. So it's been different. So then my creative hours are usually between the time where I normally work my normal shift, but now I'm working overtime and not overtime, but over hours, and I found that my creativity has expounded so much. So thank you so much for watching. I'm just not gonna make it too long. I'm just gonna pretty much end here. But I want to say thank you so much again. It's 2020, and I say thank you for the videos. I enjoy the ones I have seen. Jesus is Lord. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you for getting in there before I actually end the video. Appreciate that. Thank you. And just remember that God is in control, and no matter what the situation is, God has a plan for us. The Bible Project is really good. It's been a really good lesson for me. I've been watching a lot of that, and they have done a really good job in explaining and putting into pictures the Bible, and explaining things that we can actually see. And I've watched so many of their videos now that it's like I just want to. It gave me such a real good, really rekindled my love for Scripture. I mean, I always had it there, but it's not even more so. And so I just want to say thank you all again for just watching and for listening, even though it's a short video. Again, I'll do more videos in the future, but again, thank you and have a good night, and just wish you all the best. All right, so thanks. Good night. One day I'm gonna get this button to work. Watch. You'll see. Watch. And here we go. Stop. Bye. It's not ending. Oh goodness. Yes.